Have I told you lately that I love this team? Love the guts, the passion, the intensity, the never say die of this Phillies edition 2023. Ricky Metallico, I'm Michael Barkett. Metallico, take it any way you want because they started out pretty good. 2-0, they were up, and then J.P. Crawford. Why can't they get guys like that? Oh, they had
J.P. Crawford, by the way, was 3 for 4 in this game, but let's skip over him for a little while.
But my point is they got back into it and then took the lead, back-to-back home runs, and then the Phillies chipped their way at it and ended up retaking it at the end.
Well, you go down 5-2. I think the main thing is, okay, what am I going to do pitching-wise? How are we going to shut these guys down? Luis Ortiz, outstanding job out of the bullpen. Kimbrel, outstanding out of the bullpen. Sir Anthony, as usual, and then Alvarado closing the door. You have to give a lot of credit out there because they gave that offense an opportunity to come back later on in the ballgame. I mean, you think about that 8th inning, you knew it was happening. You could see it kind of almost developing when you're watching the game and you were just waiting for that one special moment. As a matter of fact, I was a little annoyed at Bohm. Why did he try to hit the ball the other way on the first pitch? He got a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Well, he ended up getting one on the inside part of the plate, drove it to left field. Good piece of hitting, but I thought their at-bats in that 8th inning were their best at-bats of the game, with the exception of one guy.
Yeah?
Nicky C.
How about that? What's going on? We just heard what Alec Bohm had to say about him.
He's crushing the ball. I mean, he's hitting everything hard right now. He's hitting .333 right now with a .396 OBP and 16 RBIs. So somebody is going skyrocketing.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Nick Castellanos a little bit later on. Right now, we go back across the street, check in with John Kruk, who called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. John, you just asked Alec Bohm how gratifying is it to see what Nick Castellanos has been able to do this year. How gratifying is it for you to be able to see it, and how has he done it? Because last year wasn't this one, that's for sure.
No, you know, I had a nice conversation yesterday with Nick, and you know, I think basically what it came down to is he just feels comfortable this year. He feels comfortable living in Philadelphia. His family's comfortable. Where do you pitch him?
They drive you nuts. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And I think they got away sometimes. Not last year near the end of the year, but I think you know, a couple years ago is like, you know, we're going to try to hit home runs. We're going to try. And I love Kevin Long came in and you know, hey, you know, let's just put balls in play and see what happens. And they will strike out. We know that. But, you know, you look at that inning, 4 singles. When's the last time you saw the Phillies get 4 consecutive singles to take a lead?
It looks a little funny on the scorecard, actually.
It does.
But you know what's great? I mean, there's one guy I think the Phillies really need to get hot, and I think that's JT. And he's starting to swing the bat better. Have you seen that also?
Yes. I mentioned to him today that I thought he was going to get 3 hits, but he only got 2. But we'll take that, right, with the big RBI there in the 9th inning to keep the thing moving for Bohm. But yes, JT I think is going to start. You remember last year he didn't get off to a great start, but he ended up winning a Silver Slugger. So, and I think Tom McCarthy I think told me today that his numbers this year at this point in the season were better than they were last year. So. Look, JT's just he's too much of a physical freak to struggle offensively. And you know, look, if we're worried about JT offensively or defensively, then we got nothing to worry about.
John, when you sift through all the numbers and all the names from the Phillies from this great win, and it was a great win, I think the one of them that stands out above the rest, or at least right there, is Luis Ortiz. Comes in relief. 2 innings. He is solid, gives up just 1 hit when Taijuan Walker went out with tightness in his right forearm.
Yeah, we're going to have to call Gabe. I'm going to text Gabe and say, why'd you give this guy up? But we're glad you did. But, yeah, that was the turning point in the game to me because, you know, things were going sideways for the Phillies, you know, with the Mariners offense. So someone had to come in and stop it, and Ortiz came in and said, nah, your guys are done. Now you ain't scoring no more off me. So, you know, but you know, Rick, how it goes, you get a guy come in for 2 innings like that and shuts him down, it gives your offense a chance to do something. You know, chip away. The Phillies did, and like I said, I thought I was seeing things when I saw 4 consecutive singles from the Phillies in that 8th inning.
It was pretty amazing.
Beautiful thing.
Keep me off of that text chain, by the way. I don't want to be on that text chain.
I lost them all.
But by the way, talk a little bit about what Sir Anthony, Kimbrel, Alvarado, talk a little bit about what those guys are bringing to this team and how you would feel going up against that trio, or even if you want to throw in Gregory Soto and that, the way they've been pitching lately.
Well, you know, the hope going into a game like that as an opponent, an offensive player, you only hope you have to face one of those 4 or 5 once. If you have to face them 2 or 3 times, pretty good chance the odds aren't with you. And Alvarado, you know, the closer role, you know, thought Sir Anthony, Kimbrel, but you know, Alvarado he's just once he got that cutter and got a great feel for it, it's just not fair. It really isn't fair to a lot of hitters.
John, you look at these first 23 games that the Phillies played, and they were virtually all of them against also-rans, except for the Yankees, and they dropped 2 of 3 for the Yankees. Now they're in the midst, 2 games in to a 9-game stretch, and you know the opponents, including the world champs coming up next. Then they go to the Dodgers. What kind of measuring stick is this next 9 or next 7 now going into the rest of the season?
Well, I think it's big, and you know the reason why I think it's big coming in, because you know we might have Bryce back sooner than we think, so that's going to be a big help, because whether Bryce comes out of the gates hot or cold, he makes the hitters around him better, because they have to pitch like it's Bryce Harper coming up next, or you know, Bryce Harper's up 3rd this inning. What are we going to do with the first 2 hitters? What are we going to do with the guy in front? You know, it makes pitchers have to work especially hard against the other guys before they get to Bryce. So Bryce makes everyone better. So when he comes back, I think they're going to be fine. You remember last year they went out to Los Angeles and did some damage out there against the Dodgers. There's no reason why this can't happen again.
Yep. No one wants to talk about injuries, you know? They're not sexy. Everyone's got injuries. I don't want to hear it. But you lose a former MVP. You lose your catalyst. You lose Andrew Painter. It looks like he's going to be a real good one, if not a great one. And certainly Rhys Hoskins at first base. And then they're getting Ranger Suarez back, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Those are significant losses.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You know, how many teams can withstand that and still be get 1 game under 500 after what 24 games, Michael? You said.
Yeah. 23 games.
But yeah, and you know, it's only going to get better. You know, when these guys come back, Ranger, I guess, is going out on a minor league assignment. Yeah. So you know, and look, we still have to wait and see with Taijuan Walker how substantial his injury is. Hopefully it's nothing more than a tightness in the forearm, and they can work that out before his next start. But, you know, you're going to get Ranger back, and, you know, so Ranger comes back. Now they have 6 starters. If Painter comes and they bring him up at some point, now you have 7 starters. But if they think they have to, like, you know, first of all, you got an asset with Ranger Suarez, because he can go to the bullpen and be dominant in the bullpen like he was last year in the postseason. But we also see he can be a quality, you know, above average major league starter too. So you got a great piece coming to this team. When he comes back, and of course when Bryce comes back, then life just gets pretty cheery.
I'll tell you what, John Kruk, it could be just Ricky and me, but you seem to really enjoy the postgame program. I mean, wears well on you. Yes,
you did half the show for us. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We're going to go to the car.
Happy to help. Hey, I'll just drive over there and finish it for you.
Thanks. Well, you said the right way. That's it. Come on over. We'll check you tomorrow, Johnny. Thanks so much. That is John Kruk joining us from across the street in the booth. We go inside the box score of a 5-4 Phillies win. And I mentioned 23 games. I'm talking about the first 23 games. They are 25 games in now. Ricky Bo, look at all the hits. In fact, everybody hits except for Jake Cave. Pretty good.
That's not right.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, they put in 12 hits. They had 4 of them in that 8th inning. So it's nice to see. Let me put it this way. When you look at this box score, this is one of those box scores where you go into the clubhouse and everybody's happy except for probably Taijuan Walker. I mean, when you really think about it, you know, he's got what, forearm injury. Who knows what that could be? It could be nothing. It could be a little bit of something. But in the clubhouse, is a happy clubhouse tonight. That's what you want, and that's a positive thing going into a 1 o'clock game tomorrow.
Beautiful, beautiful way to win it.
It is a nice way to win.
Anyway, it's a great way away, one game below 500. They got the closeout game tomorrow afternoon. We're on the air at 12:30. And let's hear Rob Thomson on this now. Here he is about this come-from-behind victory.
The initial word on Walker.
I'm talking with Paul. He doesn't have any major concerns with it. It's more precautionary than anything. And he'll see the doctor tomorrow, and we'll reevaluate it then.
Will he get an MRI tomorrow? You know?
Don't know yet. Don't know.
Was it something that he complained about during the game?
Yeah, it was after the second inning, and really at that point we didn't have any concerns. It just lingered, and I said, that's enough. Let's just be smart about this and get him out. And the bullpen did a great job, kept us right in it, and everybody, they fought back, had great at-bats, especially in the eighth inning there, put together a bunch of singles and using the field and passing the baton, and that's what you got to do.
How impressive has Ortiz been since joining you guys?
It's been really good, He throws strikes. It's a 96 fastball. It's a pretty good slider. He gets ahead, stays ahead, and gets soft contact. He's been really good.
How much has Castellanos needed a month like this to start the season after last year when the ups and downs?
Yeah, I think it's big for him. I think you're seeing when he drives the ball to right center like that, that's the Castellanos I remember. And it just shows you that right now his mechanics are in the right place. His body's in a great spot. His confidence is in a great spot. He's been an offensive force for us.
And then the back end of the bullpen, is this kind of like over the offseason how you guys drew it up with Sir Anthony?
Yeah, that's what we thought that it would be, and we got to one run down, and then like Sir Anthony hadn't pitched in 3 days. Kimbrel hadn't pitched in 3 days, so if they had pitched yesterday, we probably wouldn't use them in a one-run down game. But since they can pitch today and they'll still be available tomorrow, we thought, well, let's just keep it right there and keep fighting. And the guys did a great job. They're really resilient, and they kept fighting. And finally, we got the lead, and Alvarado closed it.
To follow up on that, after the way the second inning went, going to the bullpen in the fifth, calls weren't going your way in some cases tonight. What does it say about your guys that they came back and
yeah, they're resilient. They're tough, and you can't control calls or anything like that. All you can control is the way you compete and keeping your poise and staying calm, and that's what they did.
Second time in the last few days, you guys have come back from being down 3 early, and the offense chips away. Everyone talks about bullpens holding leads, but how big has it been that they've been able to just hold the deficit where it is?
Yeah, it's huge, and so as time goes on, it gains confidence in the hitters that, okay, we're okay, because our bullpen's going to come in, they're going to hold this thing, and we just need to keep chipping away, pass the baton, get a big hit, and now we got the lead, and then we close it out.
Taijuan was so dominant in the first,
Yeah.
gets 2 quick outs in the second, and you think the forearm tightness had anything to do with what happened?
I don't know. I didn't ask him exactly when it happened, but yeah, 2-out walk, and then a broken bat single, and another walk, and a home run. You're like, what just happened, Because he was dominant. The stuff was really good. Thank you.